Hello everyone, welcome to Screamers. That is a wrap on the 25-26 Barclays WSL season, and what a season it's been. We are freshly back from a very exciting trip, but we're going to do that really annoying thing where we're like, but we can't tell you why. But we will be releasing some very exciting episodes in the run-up to WAFCON in the summer. But until then, shall we do a quick wrap-up? Just so you know, this is our pre-wrap, as they say.
We're eking this out as long as possible.
In the words of Eddie Carpenter, this is a pre-wrap before our full wrap-up of the season next week. But shall we get into it, guys?
Let's do it. So, Jessie, you're up in Liverpool still. You've been to some WSL. Guys, I can't believe that the WSL season ended yesterday. I feel a level of bereft. Where did it go? It's like it was never here. It's gone so quickly and already it feels so distant. Feels like just last weekend where we did those 3 games in one weekend for the openers.
Really? For me, it feels like years ago.
Yeah, I've aged quite a bit. Sorry, watching Liverpool this season, I've aged quite a bit since then. I am up in Liverpool. It's not the sign-off that we would have hoped for. I do think maybe we need to consider playing games at Anfield because we do seem to lose them all the time. Not sure it's the best omen, but it was very nice. I got to sit on the cop. I've never had a ticket on the cop before, so that was very cool.
Ooh.
Had some pals with me. My girlfriend and another one of our pals in the away end, which meant I could be my full rattled self. Actually, I didn't get rattled until the very end until after the final whistle, which we'll come on to later as to why. But the match itself was just kind of, Arsenal were quite good, Liverpool were quite bad. And that's football, I guess. The goals were quite annoying because the first goal was kind of weird. Jennifer Falk made 2 incredible saves, and then I think her weight was just completely on the wrong foot. And Stina crashing through for a header kind of distracted her. And actually, I think it went down as a Russo goal in the end. I'm not sure.
Very annoying for me, my fantasy, my last push.
Yeah, it was very annoying for me, sat in front of watching it happen, directly in front of me. Just like we don't really know how it ends up in the net. And then the Mariona Caldente goal was fantastic. Like that was genuinely brilliant. And then for the third goal, Alejandra Bernabé just kind of decided that she was done with defending for the game. And I saw, because where we sat, I saw her looking back towards our goal, look to the right and realise she'd been beaten and have that moment of, oh God, I'm meant to be doing something. And then try and track a player. It's like, no, Bab, it's already gone. Like what are we doing?
She's tired.
Here?
The season's over, she's tired.
They did look knackered.
That was like the 40th minute though. There's no excuse to be tired at that point.
No,
that's so true.
But I do think Arsenal were giving them such a tough game, moving the ball so quickly, and Liverpool seeing very little of the ball and just having to be so alert and so comfortable with sitting there without the ball, which they weren't. They were just like running and exhausting themselves.
It was a bit headless at times. That was some of the most fluid passing I think I've seen from Arsenal in a while. It was really, really accomplished. And I do think that's the kind of model for where Liverpool get to. Because I think our bravery of passing and some of the building out from the back was really good. But what we struggle with and what Arsenal are really good at is when you transition from retaining the ball, recycling, building, and then punching forward and going for something. And Liverpool just don't have that instinct of when to go. And so stuff was like even promising attacks were fizzling out because it's, let's keep the ball rather than do something promising.
Yeah.
Which was a bit frustrating. But I think it's going to come next season. They'll be able to work on that. A hilarious goal for us to score because it was so blatant a handball. It was so blatant a handball. To the extent that all of us were celebrating, but kind of like, this is so ridiculous. But if that is the last contribution that Gemma Bonner makes in a Liverpool shirt, handballing it so that Zara Shaw can score, I'm fine with that.
That's a great last game for Liverpool.
Yeah. What a sign-off, eh?
Oh no, what about your big day? Because it was also your birthday yesterday.
It was my birthday, blessed by the WSL gods. For my special day with, as we've grown to love, 6 games at once.
Just testing you out on your birthday.
Yeah. So I went to the Baller FC watch party, which was really fun. Just like wandered down there, had a little coffee, gluten-free pastry. It was so fun.
Just like Copenhagen.
All of these cool things, just like Copenhagen. All of these cool things going on. There was like crafting and drawing and football shirts and tattoos. Oops. Which I got a tattoo, which I'm very pleased with.
Show it again. Let's see. Show it
So
again.
if you guys can see on the video, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
little square, the centre circle of a football pitch with a ball on it. And I think it's very adorable. It's all dotty and cute. By Gracie, who does loads of Arsenal tattoos. Maya, if you're ever in the market for one.
I'm glad that our enabling of you worked. For everyone listening should know, if you ever are weighing up whether to do something, just DM us, because Maya and I are the biggest enablers going.
That's
and
true.
we will absolutely. It's like a new service we can offer as Screamers, I think. If there's something you want to do, but you're not
It's
sure.
very affirmative, honestly.
Yeah, we will enable you.
I didn't need much encouragement, but thank you guys. I'm sure you tipped me over the edge.
You've also come away with what looks like a gorgeous hat on her, a very striking bucket hat.
Unfortunately, this was nothing to do with the baller event. I don't think they would have such ugly hats at their events. But this was brought home to me by my wag from Stamford Bridge. So, yeah.
Don't say they never treat you.
Yeah, lucky me on my birthday. It's reversible. As we've grown to love, it's the pink and orange of the new WSL branding here. Stunning.
Okay.
And then
very tutti frutti.
Reverse. And it is a gorgeous Barclays blue.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I thought they were going to do orange on one side, pink on the other, but they've gone with the Barclays blue.
Yeah, the sponsorship pull is too strong. That big Barclays money.
Oh wow, that is. It's such a wide brim as well. It's such a big.
Quite a large hat.
For anyone listening, it's the style of a bucket hat, but it's absolutely enormous.
It's like a bucket hat, but 10 times bigger than it needs to be.
It's a bit like Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men. It's like that kind of.
Oh, that's lovely. Honest folded the brim up. It's very toddler at the beach.
Paddington Bear.
Look like a small French child from the 1980s.
Yeah.
Madeline.
On the Brittany coast.
Just eating pain au chocolat, watching the world go by.
Well, I didn't really watch any games because I was in an edit, but what I was doing was watching all of the highlights that were being uploaded to the internal system so that I could put them into my edit because I was making a show about Man City being champions. So, you know, I've watched some of it. I saw Jade Rose's first ever Barclays WSL goal.
I loved how happy everyone was for her.
It worked out so well for me because we'd done a sort of sit down with her on the week. And so I was like, great, we just clip her goal, put that straight in. Laura Coombs, of course, signing off with a goal as well.
That's quite emotional.
Quite emotional. And then me and Jessie were just talking about this before we started recording, but what a brace for Bunny Shaw. And then some very interesting post-match words from her and the skipper.
Very, very cheeky celebrations. I think we should come back to Bunny later in the episode and decide where if we think stay or go, because I think she gave us a lot of evidence for both sides with this game.
Yeah.
Wow. She contains multitudes.
And what games were people watching at Baller, Honor?
So there was the Liverpool-Arsenal game on the big screen at the front. And then there was Chelsea-Man United on a little TV at the back. And most eyes were on Liverpool-Arsenal, which I guess turned out to be the more action-packed game. So I was mostly really watching that and then following on my phone with notifications of goals. I have to say, my fantasy team did very well, but it wasn't enough in the end. So congrats to Ashna.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts because there were moments where I could have gone top, but I didn't take my chances.
That was the least genuine congrats I've ever heard.
No, I feel a bit like I've had a bit of Arsenal season where I had a slow start, then I really got going, and then a bit of a disappointing end as well.
Just wasn't enough, yeah.
Yeah, so actually me and your club have a lot in common.
Yeah.
With that Chelsea United win, another goodbye goal, another sign that maybe a club's making the wrong decision by letting a player go. We now know who are locked in final three for the Champions League. So obviously City at the top. 4 points clear, which I think if you'd have said when they were on that mad tear about 4 months ago that they would only win it with 4 points clear, you would have been like, that doesn't seem like quite enough for how they're performing.
Yeah, because there were moments they were 11 points clear and Carolyn got that Chelsea hat-trick.
Imagine that winning a league with 4 points ahead of your nearest rival being letting it go slightly. Like you've underperformed.
Well, they did
somewhat.
though.
They did. Arsenal in second, so you won't have to go through the rigmarole of the Champions League qualification.
Thank God.
Imagine there's a world in which Chelsea land Paris FC, giant killers of the Champions League qualification,
coming for
in the next season, and they don't end up making it to the Champions League proper.
It'll be so strange to see Chelsea do this Champions League qualification. Wow, I'm intrigued.
At least the players have a summer off as well, though, this year. When it happened to us, they'd just finished the World Cup and they had about 2 weeks before that started. So I feel like they're probably going to get through unscathed. But let's see.
The players are not going to know what to do with themselves this summer because they had last summer it was the Euros, so before that was the Olympics, and before that was the World Cup. They're going to be like, sorry, what do you mean we have free time? This doesn't...
Well, and some before that, wasn't it the Euros?
Yeah, they've had like 4 summers on the bounce of a big tournament.
I think they'll be okay. I think they can just go to Ibiza.
I think Ibiza is thrilled. The bars and restaurants of Ibiza are thrilled.
Ibiza loves to see them come.
Get those girlies on some boats now.
And they're just running through where the rest of the table ended up at the end of the season. So United 4th with 40 points. Spurs 5th, club record, 36 points for Spurs.
Pretty good.
I feel like they recovered from their dry patch quite well to finish on high. London City Lionesses 6th on 27. Quite a big gap actually between them and Spurs in the end. Brighton and 7th. The Brighton super team finally lost, which is not the preparation for the FA Cup final that I'm sure they would have hoped for. Everton in 8th, Villa in 9th, West Ham in 10th, Liverpool in 11th with the last few losses, sadly, and Leicester City, bottom of the lot on 9 points. And they are taking on Charlton next Saturday in the... Is there a snappily named title for it? I don't know. The WSL playoff?
It's just the relegation playoff.
Then Charlton are going to get promoted.
I think just the WSL playoff. We've got to come up with a name, guys, or our listeners, if anyone has a really fun and correct name for it.
We'll just start a guerrilla rebranding campaign for the match.
Yeah, I mean, the WSL's branding is questionable at times, so I believe we should.
Who's your money on, though, guys, for that game?
Oh, Leicester just look like they have...
Yeah, for me, it's Charlton.
Yeah, Leicester have no hope, and I don't think they've had any hope for a while. They don't really seem to know what they're doing.
No.
My money's on Charlton coming up. I think Charlton hit a rough patch, but...
This sounds really tight to Leicester, but I also do feel like Charlton just want it more. And like Leicester have been sort of lounging at the bottom of the WSL for such a long time now. It kind of just feels like another team should get that place. It doesn't feel like they're trying to sort of make the most of that being in the top flight. So I kind of just feel like give it to someone else.
It's tough, but I think Leicester will win it.
Get it, do you?
Yeah. Obviously, they've been really poor this season, but I just think for Charlton's style of play as well, the gap is going to be hard because Charlton don't score a lot. They've defended well in the WSL too, but I think against WSL opposition they'll struggle. But then again, looking back at that FA Cup game against Liverpool, they obviously lost 1-0 after extra time.
Yeah,
and really held on. So who knows? It could just be a really, really fine margins, I think.
I think the thing with Leicester, isn't it, that in recent games it's been 1 or 2 players who have still been up for it. So I think if they have Hannah Kane turn up or Rachel Williams turn up, then they'll probably will see them through.
Exactly. That's kind of all it could take.
I do think it would be, not that Leicester would be happy to hear this, but I do think it would be quite good for the WSL if the team that came bottom did go down, because I do think it's a sign to teams that you can't coast in this league anymore. There is genuine jeopardy. But whether Leicester will want to take one for the greater mission, I'm not sure. For one last time of the season, I think we need to do another round of Screamers of the Week. Maya, you won in a landslide with that Mary Fowler goal last week. It was quite possibly the biggest vote margin we've ever had. But actually, Honor, do you want to go first with your pick?
I would love to go first. We had a message on Instagram from a listener, Anna, who I think might be from Australia, who has submitted a Melbourne City goal in I think it's their title-winning game. So they've just won the league. and Letitia McKenna makes it 3-1 with just like the naughtiest curling strike into the top corner. So this is probably a bit further afield than I usually look. So thank you, Anna, for bringing this to our attention, because it is an absolute banger.
Go on then, Maya, what are you picking?
Well, honourable mention to Tokakoga, who had just, I don't know if it was a screamer, but it was just like a sort of crazy goal.
I think it was a screamer.
Yeah, okay. But it was amazing either way. It was very fun to watch. However, my screamer goes to not only Miss Mariona Caldente, but the whole of the Arsenal squad for finally, some success in a set piece like we do at the training ground. And a gorgeous, gorgeous screamer from Mario, which was really nice to top off the season at Anfield. Sorry, Jessie.
It was a mad angle. I just think
it was
crazy.
Can't really get pissed off at that as a Liverpool fan, because it was
a thing of beauty.
No right scoring from that angle, but it was a cracker. It made the two Arsenal fans sat in the Kop very happy.
I would have loved to be there.
No, I didn't tell you. One of them was sat there with a bloody cannon on their head.
Oh my God.
What?
That would have boiled my head.
It was a giant foam.
That's
One of them
such
was
a crazy
in
thing to do.
It was insane. One of them was in like a Champions League winners cap, and one of them had a giant foam cannon that was probably like half a metre. It was massive. And it's like one thing to come and sit in the home end wearing that, but also you knew where the Arsenal away fans were, and you knew this was going to be like an end of season vibe. Why would you not want to go and sit by them if you're an Arsenal fan?
So strange.
They need to get the Stamford Bridge security on that. You'd never have got past them.
Well, Stamford Bridge have actually not been very good recently.
Really?
So yeah, had some problems at the FA Cup game.
So they've got lax.
Yeah, apparently doing neutral zones in the home end.
Well, that's a bit crap. Maybe that's what they were doing here for those two specific seats. Who knows? I am going to pick the one, the only Sam Kerr, because scored the only goal of that Chelsea-Man United game. And what a goal. I had to watch it like 3 or 4 times to try and figure out, was it a volley? Was it a half volley? Is it a Lauren James ball in?
Yeah.
Perfect arc. And Sam Kerr just hits this ridiculous volley that seems to like break Fallon Tullis-Joyce in half as she's trying to save it. I've never seen someone backbend so much. And I mean, of all the ways to sign off from a club, what a goal to do it with.
Sam Kerr doing what she does best.
Sam Kerr doing Sam Kerr things. So we will put the clips of those up on Instagram for you to take a look at if you haven't seen them already, and then you'll be able to vote for the last time this season on Instagram and Spotify for your Screamer of the Week.
Shall we have a chat about contract signings, extensions, no extensions, players leaving, comings and goings? It's been very busy.
Weekend full of goodbyes.
I have to say, I was on the tube leaving work, just actually crying on the tube, watching all these like hilarious TikTok edits of players leaving, walking out for the last time. I think because they were all crying, it was really getting me teary-eyed.
I have to say, even watching McCabe being subbed off, I found that quite emotional.
Moving.
As not an Arsenal fan, I thought that was quite an emotional moment. With all the kind of back and forth that we've had about she's leaving, no, they've offered her a contract, and then it's like, oh no, it's too late.
Her one has been, I will say, particularly messy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so messy, because we thought she was definitely gone, and then they announced all the players who were going to get that goodbye moment at the Arsenal game in the week for the last home game, and then Katie McCabe was not included in that, but was in tears at the end and was taking photos with all the players who were leaving, but nothing was announced, and then there was just like a random Instagram post shoved out the next day.
Random Instagram post, no classic sit down in a chair, teary goodbye video.
We do need to change that. We do need clubs to start doing a different video than player walks into frame, sits down, starts sobbing. Because
I'm like, you know, they like walk into frame. I'm like, that was really cool the first, maybe second time it was done. Now we're on like video number 250. Like, it's not a BTS shot anymore, guys.
No. And it's just like so coded for someone's leaving. You just know as soon as that's like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Sam Kerr's, that she was just like really jolly.
I've never seen someone so happy.
She's like, all right.
Bye then.
I did see for McCabe though that they did a kind of strange video where they filmed the team meeting of Renee saying like,
Yeah,
sorry we didn't
and
get
Kim
to give Katie
Little.
a proper goodbye, she's going to take the armpit, and then the armpit. She's going to take the armband. And then Kim Little doing a really, really like awkward but sweet speech.
Oh no, I loved Kim Little's speech.
It was
so
cute,
Kim
but it was
Little.
so awkward.
It was exactly what you would imagine a goodbye speech
Yeah.
from Kim Little would be like.
Yeah.
But she's one of those people that like it means more from her because she's like a woman of fewer words, you know?
Yeah.
She's probably one of the only ones who's been at Arsenal a comparable amount of time to Katie McCabe as well. So I will say the Anfield clapped when she got subbed off, and it did rattle me a little bit after the game. And a little bit is a bit of an understatement, when obviously we knew that Katie McCabe had not had her goodbye moment at the Emirates. So there was like a big goodbye in front of all the Arsenal fans and the big team photo and lots of stuff going on then. And then they just wouldn't leave the pitch. Meanwhile, the Liverpool players are trying to do our guard of honour to prepare for our players that we're saying goodbye to in our stadium. And it's like, have a little bit of self-awareness, because do the big photo, and everyone who pays attention to women's football knows this has been like a weird circus around Katie McCabe. So have your goodbye. Don't then walk away and then walk back, and then walk away and then walk back. It's one moment. It's not 5 moments. Stop it. I was so rattled.
I can totally see how, as a Liverpool fan, that is really annoying. But I do also think like it's not. Sometimes it is a bit shit when you get an away game for the last game of the season. Like it is the last time that fans are going to see like Beth Mead, Katie McCabe, who have been like these incredible legends at the club. Like so, even if they have been at the like big Emirates goodbye, this is the last time we'll ever see them play in an Arsenal shirt. So like, I know that is, I can totally see from your side that's really annoying. But from my point of view, like I'm sure all Arsenal fans would have preferred our last game of the season to be a home game. And I don't think they're ever going to be like, oh, well, it's an away game, we said bye last week. Like, I just don't think that would ever happen.
No, and I don't think anyone would have expected them to be like straight off the pitch, but it was more like there was the big goodbye, there was lots of photos. Our players are like in a guard of honour waiting to start, and then they keep walking away and then walking back. It was the walking away and walking back really did my head in, especially as then Taylor Hines, you could see is sort of being like, guys, guys, we should go. We should probably go.
Shut up, Tay.
And everyone clapped when Beth Mead was subbed off as well, like walking off around the pitch. Everybody clapped Beth Mead off. Fair play to Arsenal. A lot of the Arsenal fans did stay for the Gemma Bonner and Gemma Evans goodbyes as well.
Aww.
They had a big guard of honour, and Gemma Evans came out first, and then Bonner came out. And sad it wasn't a slightly bit full at Anfield for that moment, but watching all the players hug Gemma Bonner, and I could see from a distance that like Fuka wasn't letting her go. And then I saw the video afterwards, and Fuka Nagano is in bits, like absolutely distraught. Hugs Gemma, and then Gemma's like, so they stay hugging for a bit, and then Gemma Bonner goes to pull away, and Fuka's like, no, and pulls her back in and like buries her face in her shoulder, and then they just walk off arm in arm all around the pitch, and it's just like I've never seen Fuka Nagano so emotional.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
Strong bonds.
Yeah, it feels like a very big changing of the guard this season, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Bunny Shaw saga is going to play out for a while yet, I think.
I mean, we're getting mixed signals, I have to say, with this whole thing. But I'm really surprised that if it's true that Man City aren't matching the offers she's getting from the Chelseas, etc., I'd be really surprised. As in, I don't know why they're not.
I think was the Man City sporting director or someone quite high up on the women's side was there at the game yesterday. So Bunny scoring 2 goals is kind of like, see what you're losing, or are you going to keep me? I think it was the first or the second where she went and stood in front of the City fans and has that kind of cheeky smile. She's looking at the fans and then runs away. It's like, what are you doing here, Bunny?
Yeah, what's going on here? The fact that Sam Kerr confirmed leaving does make me think that they think they're getting Bunny.
Because otherwise, why would you let go Sam Kerr scoring goals like that?
But I wonder if she was kind of ready to go as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably kind of from her. Feels like
a combination, probably.
Yeah.
With how thrilled she did look in her goodbye video.
Yeah. Bye then.
But she asked in the post-match at Chelsea about, I can't remember if it was in the post-match or where it was, and she basically said, like, yeah, if I play against you next season and score, I'm definitely celebrating. Like, she is so ready to be out of there.
That's so funny.
With Bunny, it's mad because I mean that the interview that she had with Alex Greenwood after the game, And she was asked, and she was like, well, football will be what football will be, and I'll end up where I'm going, and I don't know where I'll be next season. And then sort of, I don't know, hinted at something, and her and Alex walked off giggling together. And it's like, are you dropping hints? And if you are, I don't know which way they're being dropped.
The thing of like giggling with Alex Greenwood made me think more than anything else has made me think that actually she's going to stay, which I think makes the most sense for City at least.
On any given day, I flip-flop between she's staying and she's going. But it's kind of wild if the main difference is the contract length. Bunny's not the kind of player, like she's turning 30 soon. Her style of play as a centre forward is not reliant on like youthful pace and springiness. She's so smart with her positioning. She can score so many different types of goals. She's an incredible playmaker as well. That's not something that when she's 32, 33, she's going to lose from her game.
No.
It seems really, really strange for that to be like the sticking point and risking losing the fulcrum of your attack to your biggest rivals.
But we shall see. Watch the space.
Who else do you think's off?
Well, I'm wondering about Caitlin Foord. Like, are we to believe she's staying?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Of all the players leaving Arsenal, I would have kept Beth Mead, I think. And I wouldn't have kept Caitlin Foord if she does stay. I think Katie McCabe, she could have stayed for a few more years, but I'm also not like... Obviously, I think she's like such an Arsenal legend and it will be a huge change to not have her in the side. But I do think in many ways it was time for her to move on, or at least to not be our regular starter, and maybe she didn't want that. And then Pelova, I feel like, has really struggled for minutes and hasn't really been the same since her ACL, whether that's to do with just not being in kind of Renee's plans or whether she just hasn't come back with the same confidence. And then Kadina, I also think it's time for her to go. Caitlin Foord, she hasn't recorded an assist this season, and I'm kind of a bit like, what more do we want from our wingers? If not to be recording assists.
To not get one is a shocking output.
It is quite shocking in the league, at least. So I would be really surprised. And yeah, maybe it is just that they haven't managed to find a satisfactory replacement. Maybe she's happy to drop minutes, or I don't know.
So with Beth Mead gone, you have on the wings, as wing options currently, without speculation who's leaving, Caitlin Foord, Chloe Kelly, Olivia Smith, and it does look like Smilla Holmberg is being converted into that winger. So technically you do still have 4 on the wing, but I'd say only Olivia Smith is starting regularly, performing at the levels, has the output. Chloe Kelly has been obviously had a few injuries recently, was sharing that kind of role.
Hasn't been a regular starter,
Caitlin Foord has been a regular starter in defiance of all of the odds based on the output. And Smilla Holmberg is going to be adapting to that new role, and it's not going to be an easy switch overnight. So it's kind of, you only really have one top level starting winger at the minute, which doesn't seem like enough to go into next season with.
Not at all. I mean, I'm really excited to see what the signings are, but I do sort of feel like Caitlin Foord's staying because they've made such a big thing of like, you know, making sure they've announced the sort of old guard who are leaving so they could have this big thing. It would be so weird if hers was announced like next week or something.
I mean, we kind of thought last season she might be. Yeah. We've kind of been ready for Caitlin Foord to go for a while now. It will be interesting to see where they all land as well, because obviously they're players who are very experienced in the WSL, very experienced at playing at high levels. By
all accounts, also still want to be playing at high levels as well.
I have concerns that like some of the sort of next rung of WSL teams will be like, oh, there's some good players coming up, and we'll try to nab them without thinking about necessarily where they fit into their system, because I think the tendency to be like, oh, a defender who's played at WSL team and played in the Champions League, we should absolutely nab her. And I'm just putting all of the WSL clubs on notice, do not go in for Leia Kadina.
I've also seen that apparently they've got very close to a completed deal for Mappy Leon at LCL.
They're not going to be able to use the sort of disruptor underdog tag for much longer, are they?
Disruptor underdog thing is not really to do with their players. It's more actually to do with the fact they're an independent club, isn't it? But the thing is, they're a really rich independent club.
Yeah, you lose the sort of kudos of being independent.
But I do wonder who else is going to come to London City Lionesses this summer.
Do you think any of the Arsenal departures might be? I know there was rumours initially, like last summer, wasn't there, that who went in for Beth Mead.
I can kind of see, because it's like they're sort of like posing themselves as like, these like maverick experiment, they're the only independent club. I can kind of see that like resonating with someone like Katie McCabe. And you know, when I was there, like I have to say, I think I already said this on an episode, but I was quite inspired by the project. Like they are genuinely all really bought into it, and they're all like they've all said that they signed on these promises that they were going to get X, Y, and Z, and actually all that stuff is happening. And so it does seem like
attractive.
They are really trying something. Yeah.
Yeah. The rumours are very strong about McCabe and City, right? McCabe, Mead and Man City.
I would be quite sad if they both went to Man City. I remember the first time I saw Viv in a Man City show, it was quite sad. To have them all there, I'd just be a bit like, ugh. But give City, I guess.
It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
This is football. I do also think it's a bit strange because City have been like, in the past year, they've recruited lots of really great new young players like, Iman Benny and Jade Rose. And that kind of seems to be what they're doing. So for them to go in for Beth Mead and Katie McCabe, I guess they are really solid squad players and maybe they won't be starters and, they're going to be in Champions League. So they need to increase their depth and, yeah, they're like definitely solid options, aren't they? So
you've got Alex Greenwood as the left back. So you'd have to look at that and think, well, Katie McCabe's not going to displace the club captain. You wouldn't have thought.
No, unless the laughing and smiling was about something completely different. Alex Greenwood to London City Lionesses.
Listen, stranger things have happened. Like you just said, it is football. That's all for this week on Screamers. We're not going to do a WSL Community Notice Board this week because come back next week for our bumper episode review of the season, as well as the latest from the Champions League final and the WSL playoff. We'll have a sexy new title for it next week.
And the crowning of the season's winner of Screamer of the Week, surely.
True. Maybe this season we'll actually have a trophy. Who knows? But until then,
follow us on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube at screamers_pod or send us an email at screamerspod@gmail.com.
And don't forget to follow, rate, like, review so we can reach even more women's footy fans.
Bye.